Giannis. Okay, the main idea of this book, Nel Nome dei Figli, was to talk a wider and common public, because I'm an expert. I am used to hold the conference all the Europe around, but at the end I became aware that I was able to reach only few people, technicians, psychologists, lawyers. So I try another road, trying to reach the big population. That's why I wrote this book that consists of more or less 200 histories that I have collected in my association or traveling along the Europe, but inserting them in a fil rouge, in a common thread, with a strong narrative structure, in such a way I think that I was not able to bore the people. Okay, the effect was surprising, because 48 hours from the manuscript reception, the most important publishing house called me back, telling that since years and years I didn't reach a so interesting book. But after, okay, we stay in touch, we talked for different weeks, but at the end, the editor-in-chief called me back. I want to report the precise word with which the publishing house refused the publication of the book. This book led me against the invisible roads of which I didn't have the perception before. Everybody knows that the things described in the book happen, but it's better not to tell around. So the management went against the literary, artistic opinion of the editors. And they seem absolutely the same thing. Okay, the first I'm abroad, I can tell is Mondadori, the first publishing house. I can tell also that the same thing happened with the second, Einaudi. This is the most prestigious publishing house in Italy. So at the end, I decided to do a self-publishing. And but at the end, without, in the absolute silence of the mass media, I reached 20,000 copy between the ebook and the paper book. But I wonder what it will be happen if should I have behind me a publishing house with publicity, with advertising. Okay, I had the opportunity to present this book in the most prestigious location in Italy, so Palazzo Vecchio in Florence, in the Gallery of Milan, with a lot of senators, in Italian Senate, and at the end in European Parliament in Strasbourg, where this book had the luck to find a polyglot, Giannis. Giannis bought one copy of book. He fell in love immediately, because I remember that 2 days after he came back to Athens, he called me telling me that the book was extraordinary, and 10 years ago, it was his aim to translate in Greek. At the end, after 10 years, okay, but it's 400 pages, so it's justified the delay. It's 400 pages, the quality of the language, it was very high. I hope that the translation will be at the same level. Okay, but, okay. But okay, this book helped me to understand that even in Western countries, our democracy has some limits, because, there was not the reason for any judiciary trial, no defamation, nothing, but at the end, I didn't succeed to find a publishing house. But it's possible that the next step will be the English translation, because this translation could open a wider market, a wider possibility of spreading the message, the important message inside. And even in Italy, the ebook is not diffused. When I began 10 years ago, ebook was 1% of the general market. I know that, for example, in USA or in UK, the percentage is higher. Much more people are inclined, are used to use the ebook, so the English translation could be. But now I've been requested, okay, to not be diffusive, but I've been requested from Iceland to send the manuscript to try an Icelandic translation. Okay.
So this is absolutely true. Italian, Greek for the time being, and for the moment. Actually, it's absolutely the word I was impressed and was felt in love immediately with this book. I have started translating. For 10 years, it was not under translation, it was under publication. Because many years ago, I have sent the final, what I considered as a final text to Vittorio. And I started communicating with literally all publishing houses in Greece, Cactus, Grammata, Dardanos, plenty of any major and less important publishing house has refused after several months of taking under consideration the short passages I have sent. And it was just a coincidental event that permitted the publication. I have received some indemnity from the European Court of Human Rights, so I decided to spend my own amount of money in on a good purpose, and this is publishing this book. And if ever this was the expenses, which I don't want to tell you how much they would come, if they was ever, because I have to say that we all volunteer to working on that for the translation, and especially and mostly of the literature corrections made by Vanessa Georgini, who is here with us and will say a word maybe. And just in case we have ever covered these expenses of printing the book, many thousands of euros, we will spend all money in order to promote the translation to other languages, obviously. Yes, of course, and we will tell you right now where and how. Vittorio will tell you. If we have a few minutes, I can read you a short passage from the Greek preface of the book. The central theme is the adventures of two divorced parents, Carlo and Domenico, who are engaged in a personal struggle to ensure a normal and equal relationship with their children after the separation, initially on an emotional level, but especially facing their legal adventures. They are confronted with a legal system whose decisions effectively marginalize the father, turning him into a symbolic figure who has little role in the upbringing of the child. Taking their personal life story as a starting point, Carlo and Domenico realize that the administration of justice in the courtrooms is literally in the grip of a series of ideologies and social stereotypes. They realize that this biased view is now a consolidated pattern whose ideological basis has become a dogma. Aquilani, the third major character in the novel, provides the two protagonists with the knowledge necessary for an initial evaluation and consideration of the problems, and directs their actions toward overcoming the problems. The three men during their encounters realize the extent of the pathogenesis, which results primarily from the unequal parenting time between the children and the two parents. So, just a short passage, because this book has, in my opinion, both an artistic literature value, and at the same time, it's extremely educational. You can educate people through through reading this book. And maybe Vanessa can tell us a few words just to see how a trained professional philologist can
Hello. I would like to say only a sentence. Vittorio Vezzeti and Ioannis Paparigopoulos, thank you very much for this emotional experience. The others in the book.
Thank you. We have read the short passage. Vanessa has read the short passage in Greek during the Greek pre-conference, and I have seen people starting to cry. The comments on Facebook, it's incredible. For some, this book is now under printing. These were the first example. We have only printed digitally a few copies, less than 10 copies, to make corrections of the final printout. And you can touch it and see it. It does exist. But I have to say a comment on these two, on the front page. A good friend artist who unfortunately I don't see him now has. Well, anyway, is he here? No. Let him. It's not in the room. Anyway, has been inspired by this picture, this symbol, two birds, four young little birds on a bench, on a branch, and two birds in a different but parallel movement, moving towards in order to feed or to protect or to care about them. According to me, this is the message that Vittorio brings with this book, and we have materialized this symbol to this object, to this prize, let's say. And we proudly offer it to Vittorio because he has offered us the opportunity to touch many people. Vittorio can carry it proudly, as I do. Vittorio can carry it proudly, as I do in my clothes. This is a symbol of shared parenting, of the main idea of what Vittorio presents with his book. And there is a small logo. Can I ask you a question? Yes.
Well, I would like to ask one question because, well, I was wondering while I was editing your paper for the Greek book, which of course was translated from Italian into modern Greek. Well, you refer there to sort of research results, which clearly show that alienation is affecting growth, is affecting health, is affecting not just sort of behavior and so psychic, but sort of affecting really health and growth of children. Are you, well, of course, you refer to research results by others, but do you also carry out such a research yourself? Okay, to carry out research, I mean, a serious research, you need, a very wide sample. But occasionally, so I didn't have this opportunity. But I remember that, one episode in my life about that. I was leading a lesson to my colleague pediatrician about the divorce, the importance of the pediatrician, because the pediatrician often is the first one to intercept the disease of the children tied with the divorce, parental separation, the family crisis. And I mean, in my presentation, I explained all the stuff, the things that you have found in the scientific chapter. So damage of chromosomes, damage of hormones, you are more likely inclined to tumor, so to cancer. So, okay, there was beside me, there was another relator. She was not a scientist. She was presenting her book about her history, because she had a terrible history, really a terrible history. She was she was taken away from Italy to France. The mother make her living in a cellar for years. Situation type. Okay, but I didn't know in the specific the history. Okay, at the end of my presentation, she said, okay, I am the perfect sample of what the doctor said, because she was 28 to 30 years old. I had two cancer. I've lost my period since 10 years. I have a thyroid problem. So, I mean, this, okay, she was the perfect explanation of what I said in the scientific chapter. This was very, very impressive, very impressive. I didn't know anything about her situation, her life, but she had a lot of disease, for sure, connected with the terrible situation that he has lived in her life.
And we have also the chance to have with us today Panagiotis Tamvakos, who is the artist who has made this front page. And also, I have to tell you that we have met as a professional printer, professional publisher. His job is to print books. And he was very interested, really interested to meet Vittorio today. And we all thank him for Panagiotis. We thank him for his. He will have it printed sooner.
I read the book 3 times in 10 days, because I've had to make the cover. So it's a powerful book. Congratulations. No, no. It's a great book. I'm very proud and glad to meet you. And I think you enjoy the cover. It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your commitment. And this prize is also accompanied with this emblem. Vittorio, please say if you agree. This is in Latin, modern Latin.
Equalis tempus parentibus, in nomine legis ad sanitatem filiorum. Tempi uguali ai genitori. Okay, equal times for parents, in name of the law, and for the health of children.
Thank you. Yes, please.
I wish to say that I write on the newspaper, the main newspaper in Malta every Sunday, and also on the public broadcasting radio services. And I really wish that at least I present what she presented in Maltese. I will do the translation, I can do that, but not the whole book. So I will do it in Maltese. And while doing that, very passionately in the article on the newspaper and in, on the radio, I will ask whether there is, because in Malta there are many people who are very fluent in Italian, and also in English. I will ask, should I ask if there is any volunteer who wants to do something for it about the translation in English? But I will keep in touch with you, everything we do. Yes. Yes, you remember last year? Happy Parenting in Malta online. Yes, it was online. Yes, thank you very much. So glad. Yeah. We were very emotional when we heard. Yes, he was suggested to recommended by Philip Marcos, judge. Thank you very much.
But and Vittorio said previously that he was not conducting any researches. This is partially true because we have met on a phone call many 10 or 12 years ago. He was conducting a research about shared parenting in Europe in order to make a presentation to the European Parliament. He has invited me there. And we all have had our intervention. And according to his research, on official sites, Greece was considered as a country of shared joint custody. His remark had led me to find out that it was erroneous. It was written that Greece has joint parental authority. But it was a play of the word, of the terms. Instead of saying parental authority, they said joint custody. Well, the consequences are well known. We have applied to the European institutions. This website has changed, and in 2012, national authorities have started saying that we have to introduce the law of shared parenting, and this has taken place in 2021. And that's how we met Vittorio, because of his research.
It was not a clinical research, but I mean, it was a statistical, comparative research. So I tried to compare even the time spent by the children, from the children by each parents in more or less, I think, 15 countries in Europe. So we'll see that Sweden, Belgium are very advanced countries, while Greece, Italy, Malta, I didn't have data, I remember, but but okay, but we must not think that the shared parenting is diffused only in the North Europe, because in Catalonia we have areas that are more advanced than Sweden. So yeah, Catalonia, yes. Whereas Girona court 50% of equal parenting.